Ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order for May 19, 2022. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting was advertised in the Asbury Park Press and the Beacon on January 20, 2022, and by posting the notice in the Forked River Post Office and the local Harbor Post Office, and by filing a copy of the notice with the Lacey Township Clerk as required by the Open Public Meeting Act. Roll call, Mr. DeGeorge or Sharon, you doing this?
I got it.
You're doing it. Thank you.
Mr. Armato? Mrs. Claus?
Here.
Mr. Peters?
Present.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Here.
Mrs. Downing?
Here.
Mr. Scanlon?
Here.
Mr. Polino?
Present. Okay, so with our new change of agenda here, we're going to go right into an executive session. Who's reading that? You are? Got it.
Whereas the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4, is designed to ensure that decision-making government bodies in the state conduct their business in public, except in specific circumstances where exclusion of the public is needed in order to protect the privacy of individuals, the safety of the public, or the effectiveness of government in such areas as negotiations or investigations, and whereas in such circumstances a closed or executive session may be held without public notice or during the course of a public meeting, provided that the subject matter of the executive session is covered by the law. Therefore, be it resolved that an executive session be convened for the purpose of discussing confidential student matters, including but not limited to harassment, intimidation, and bullying, confidential legal matters, including but not limited to current caseload, confidential personnel matters, including but not limited to collective bargaining. The subject matter of these discussions will be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality subsides. The length of the executive session is estimated to be approximately an hour and 25 minutes. The board shall reconvene and proceed with business at 7:30 p.m. Action may be taken. Motion?
Move. Second.
Can you try that again? All in favor? Aye. Let's go to private session.
Sir, we're going to the private session. We'll be about an hour and a half. You're welcome.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Nice to see so many people in our audience. We're going to continue on with our meeting here after private session. So we're going to start first all the way down the end to my right. Your left is going to be our student representatives. Who's going to go first?
The sophomore class is currently working on sweatshirt and t-shirt fundraiser. They're also selling lawn signs for spring sports and graduation, as well as graduation flowers and gifts. Please check your email for more information. The junior prom on May 6th was a wonderful event and everyone enjoyed themselves.
The junior class is also working on planning the Kiss a Senior Goodbye fundraiser and the Powder Puff game. Check your email for more information. The senior class is preparing for the senior prom on June 15th and is currently running the senior raffle.
SGA is working on coordinating the Battle of the Classes during the week of May 23rd to May 27th. At the time, we would like the following two students to stand up and to be recognized.
Hannah Miller, who will be the SGA Executive Board President during the 2022-2023 school year.
And Jimmy Tomriddle, who will be the Senior Class President during the 2022 to 2023 school year. We'd like to invite Jack Hrabel up to the podium if he's here.
We would then like to invite the June unsung hero, Jackson Conlon. He's here.
Yes, bring him down.
Yes.
He's supposed to come
Up to
down.
the podium.
Yes.
Right there. SGA would like to recognize Jackson Conlon as June's unsung hero. He is an important part of our school in many ways. He is a part of the Student Government Association and has been part of multiple fundraisers for the school. In addition to this, he has been selected for the Leadership Academy of Humanities program in our school. He has also taken many advanced honors classes. After school, he is involved in many after-school activities, including being on the school's boys tennis team. Under the direction of Mr. Merman, he has also acted as an announcer for the after-school news brief 21 announcements, where they list off events in our community. Most importantly, he is known for his extreme kindness towards his fellow classmates and his abundance of lion pride. For these reasons and many more, Jackson Conlon has been chosen as June's Unsung Hero. Congratulations. That is all we have tonight.
Great, thank you so much, Alexis Mason, appreciate it. With that, we're going to go to Dr. Pereira and your superintendent's report, please.
Okay. Thank you, Board President Polino. Welcome to the May board meeting. I just want to thank Alexis and Mason for a fantastic year. It was a strange year. We weren't always in person, but we thank you for the time that you spent with us. We wish you the best of luck. And we welcome Hannah and James to join us up here on the dais next year. So congratulations to you and to both of you, and congratulations to the both of you as well. Another round of applause. And congratulations to our unsung heroes and to their families. Are there families here?
In the back.
In the back? Okay. Round of applause to you and to our... Okay, so hard to believe, 21 days left of school, went incredibly fast and incredibly slow. Even though we saw much of a return to normalcy, there were still some oddities to the school year, and we hope that as we get further into the summer and start thinking ahead to September, though I think that's the last thing any of us are thinking about right now, that we continue that trek toward normalcy. This morning I had the honor of attending the Ocean County Superintendent's Roundtable Recognition Ceremony, and we haven't had that program since 2020, so as you can imagine, it was extra special. And I would be remiss if I didn't point out that Alexis Frazee was awarded the Ocean County Mayor's Association Scholarship, so congratulations to Alexis. And congratulations to Abigail Fulton and Hope DeWitt. They were awarded the Superintendent's Roundtable Scholarship, so congratulations to them. We have a lot of presentations tonight. We're recognizing our staff members of the month, our teachers of the year, and then tomorrow morning we happen to be hosting the Ocean County Teacher of the Year breakfast. So lots of celebrations. Again, that's another program we haven't had in 2 years, and just another sign that we are definitely on our way to that normalcy that we've been longing for. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Brandis. We have May and June's Seniors of the Month.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to thank the board again and Dr. Clark for allowing me to celebrate student achievement. Again, it's one of the principal's best jobs, if you will, is to, again, celebrate our seniors of the month. I'd first like to welcome up Allison Bernardo. Congratulations on being our May Senior of the Month. At this time, we're going to watch a brief video of all her accomplishments here at the high school. Good evening. I'm Greg Brandis, principal of Lacey Township High School, and it's always been my pleasure to celebrate the Seniors of the Month. We're here in May to celebrate Allison Bernaldo, John Dodaro, and vocational student Stephen Berlinski. Congratulations, and now we'll watch a video of their accomplishments.
Hi, I'm Allison. I'm honored to be nominated as Senior of the Month of May for Lacey Township High School.
Congratulations, Allison Bernaldo, for being named Student of the Month for May 2022. We're all so proud of you.
I have to say I'm not at all surprised by this. When I think back to AP Language class last year and all the challenges that we faced with online learning, I distinctly remember your positive attitude?
Allison is a personally inspiring student because she demonstrates daily that despite some very tough circumstances, we can make a beautiful life for ourselves.
My favorite memories were definitely meeting the teachers and my friends.
Allison is an excellent candidate to be named for Senior of the Month based on some really simple criteria. She is an incredibly hard worker, very diligent, stands out in class, even in the virtual environment, as a student that was always prepared to learn, ready to respond to questions, contributes positively to classroom conversations, and also is just genuinely warm and happy to be in school, and I really appreciated that about her.
After high school, I plan on going to Stockton University to be a kindergarten teacher.
You definitely made an impression on me. That's not just because you personally deliver homemade pierogies, but all kidding aside, I know you've had a lot of challenges in your life, but you never let that limit you. You're smart, you are driven, you are determined, you are strong. And I know that these things will make you very successful in life. So again, congratulations on being named Student of the Month. It is very well deserved.
Want to congratulate Allison and her family as well for joining us. Congratulations. Next, I'd like to congratulate John Dodaro as our second Senior of the Month. John, can you please join me up at the podium? Congratulations. Congratulations. At this time, we're going to watch John's video.
Hi, I'm John Dodaro, and I'm proud to be May's Senior of the Month.
Big congratulations to Johnny Dodaro for making May's Senior of the Month.
Since your freshman and sophomore years, you have demonstrated some of the best qualities that set you apart from everyone else and make you shine.
So I participated in football, wrestling, lacrosse, very successful in all three, wrestling being going to states, winning districts.
Johnny D is very deserving of this award for May Senior of the Month with his humbleness, his desire, and his leadership that he has on and off the field. On the field, his leadership for football, wrestling, and boys lacrosse is outstanding. He's always the first one to make sure that everyone's good to go.
You have shown leadership, dedication, enthusiasm, loyalty, and positivity.
Future plans after high school is go to the University at Albany to play football. I'm leaving middle of July to get there and set up and start summer camp.
Johnny D, I wish you nothing but the best up at Albany. I know you do great things up there, and congrats.
Congratulations. Congratulations to John and his family. I believe are up at the top of the lecture hall. Congratulations. Also, every other month, we get to celebrate a vocational Senior of the Month. And this month, for the month of May, I'd like to congratulate Stephen Berlinski. Please join me at the podium. And we'll watch his video as well.
Hi, I'm Stephen Berlinski, and I'm proud to be named May Vocational Student of the Month.
Congratulations to Stephen Berlinski for winning May's Vocational Student of the Month.
Hard work, dedication, grit, team all the way. Stevie Berlinski is a perfect person for this award. Having worked with Stevie, not only in the classroom, but also on the baseball field, I've seen all the characteristics that make him a fantastic young man and student.
Stephen is always a willing participant in all of our classroom activities, and he keeps the mood very light and is always available to tell a good joke.
I participate in the Lacey baseball program. I really enjoy it. Have a good time.
Probably one of the best stories I have of Stevie Berlinski was on the baseball field. the kid loves to compete. He's a teammate all the way. He cheered on his fellow teammates constantly throughout last season as he played for me on the JV field. But his shining moment came against Manchester when he was on the mound. We were down early in that game, but his positivity and leadership helped our team fight back and take the lead. And as the Manchester baseball team challenged for victory against us, he took the bump with just tenacity. He stepped on the mound and brought it. And as he struck out the last guy to get the win, he came off the mound, fired up, cheering on his teammates, congratulating them as they surrounded him. He said, "Guys, that's a team win right there. We did it together."
My future plans is I'm working with this company, Expert Electric, and then afterwards I'm going to attend the night school and for 2 years to become licensed.
Again, I want to congratulate Stevie Berlinski on winning Vocational Student of the Month. This is a great honor for you. I wish you all the best in all your future endeavors, the rest of your school year, and I wish you luck as you chase your dream to be a licensed electrician. I know you'll do nothing but the best and you'll achieve all your goals. Congratulations, Stevie.
Congratulations to Stephen and his family as well. Congratulations. We're now going to head into June's Seniors of the Month. For next month, I'd like to join and congratulate, have her come to the podium, Madeline Zeck. Congratulations, Madeline. Congratulations, Madeline. At this time, we're going to watch your video as well. Hi, we're here celebrating June's Seniors of the Month. Congratulations to Madeline Zeck and Dominic Vecchio. Congratulations. At this time, we're going to watch a video of all their successes here at Lacey Township High School.
I'm Maddie Zeck, and I'm proud to be June Senior of the Month at Lacey Township High School.
Maddie, congratulations on winning June's Senior of the Month.
Congratulations, Madeline Zeck, on being named the Lacey Township High School Student of the Month.
At LTHS, I participate in the LAH and OCC Academy, as well as I am the Administrative Secretary for NHS, and I'm an avid member in Student Government, DECA, and I'm in the Phi Theta Kappa at OCC.
As the Administrative Assistant in the National Honor Society, Madeline is responsible for keeping track of all the points for our students. Now, sometimes there's some difficulties keeping track of these points, and no matter how upsetting or frustrating this could be, she's always there with a smile, making sure everybody leaves happy. She has by far the friendliest personality of anybody in our organization, and I couldn't be prouder of her today.
Maddie, you are a fantastic student. You are one of the bright stars of the graduating cohort of this year's Leadership Academy, and we all saw it going back to at least your sophomore year when I had my first contact with you. This is a tremendous honor that we have all been excited to bestow on you, and we couldn't think of anyone else.
Some of my most favorite memories at LTHS would definitely be the pep rallies, specifically freshman year, the tennis team winning. It really brings out the school spirit, and it's such a fun experience.
Madeline Zeck is one of those students that's always volunteering here at Lacey Township High School with the National Honor Society. Whether she's working in the middle school, the elementary schools, at blood drives, at various events, she is always on top of her game and always there smiling, participating, and helping other people.
You took it upon yourself to enter into the New Jersey Sustainability Project last year, hosted by Governor Murphy and First Lady Tammy Murphy, and you created one heck of a presentation on environmental sustainability, and I couldn't have been prouder for you for stepping out of your comfort zone and doing that competition.
After high school, I plan to attend Ramapo College as a presidential scholar, majoring in history and minoring in museum expedition studies with intentions to become a U.S. history professor, and I will also be playing D3 tennis.
Congratulations, Maddie. We're really proud of you. Best of luck in college. We know you're going to do well.
Congratulations, Maddie, and to her family. Congratulations. Our last senior of the month, certainly not the least, I'd like to ask Dominic Vecchio to please join me at the podium. Congratulations, Dominic. This time we'll watch Dominic's video.
Hi, I'm Dom Vecchio, and I'm proud to be named June Senior of the Month for Lacey Township High School.
I just want to give a big congratulations to Dominic Vecchio for being June's Senior of the Month. Couldn't be more proud of you, bud.
Congratulations, Dominic, on winning Senior of the Month for the month of June.
I played soccer and hockey for 4 years, and I'm a co-station manager for WLTS.
Dominic Vecchio is very worthy of the June Senior of the Month. His dedication that he's had within my ice hockey program and the things he's done for the school climate itself, working with the telecommunications program that's been here with Mr. Berman. He's done nothing but outstanding things for both programs.
So Dom has normally been one of our behind-the-scenes guys and really one of the hardest workers here in the program. And it was really fun this year when the girls soccer team made their run to the state championship. He kind of broke out of that a little bit and was able to get behind the microphone and do commentary for some of their state playoff games. It was really a great experience for him. It was fun to listen to, and it was nice to see a different side of Dom in that way. Really enjoyed that.
Some of my favorite memories are definitely going to be the late night away games with the hockey team.
One of my favorite memories of Dominic would be during our ice hockey seasons together. This past season was a real great one for us, having the most wins for us of our senior program and seniors that are leaving. His line was known as the Senior Citizen line. He took great pride in being the best that he could on the ice and off the ice for us.
Congratulations again, Dom. It really has been great to have you here in the program over the last 4 years. I wish you the very best in everything that you do.
Congratulations to Dominic, Dominic's family, to all the seniors of the month, to all the Senior of the Month's families as well, and congratulations on all the award winners tonight. Thank you.
All right, congratulations again to all of our May and June Seniors of the Month. I think they're deserving of one more round of applause. All right, I am going to transition. We have another presentation tonight, very special one. I'd like to invite our PTO President, PTO Treasurer Nicole Gatto, and Dana Tritola, along with Lenoka Harbor Schools Principal Dr. Brewer. Is everybody here? Yes. So as they're making their way down, I just want to tell you why we've just applauded them. The Lenoka Harbor PTO has made a very, very generous donation in the amount of $15,000 that gives us the opportunity to purchase much-needed playground equipment for Lenoka Harbor School. So Dr. Brewer, I don't know if you want to say a few words, or if... Okay, you're going to say... Perfect.
Sure. Do you want to say something? You go first. Do you want to say something?
We started this school year with a goal to raise funds for a new playground for our kids, which seemed even more exciting after the last couple of years that we've been through. With the help of our PTO, amazing parents, and the best staff around, we were able to raise a substantial amount of money to donate to make a nice playground that our children can come back to in September. So we just want to thank everybody who helped make this possible. And we have, again, just such a supportive staff who's always there to work with us and encourage us and help us with everything we need. We have Dr. Brewer.
So on behalf of the school district, I humbly accept this donation, and I just want to point out, especially the efforts of the three women that are here tonight, but our entire PTO. They really do work tirelessly. They are an extension of our staff, and we couldn't do what we do without them year in, year out. So thank you, ladies, very, very much.
Jeff, let me take a picture.
Thank you.
right, thank you once again. Very generous donation. Okay, we're going to transition again to our staff members of the month. So we've been doing this for quite some time now, and we do have a video to show. So I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about our first staff member of the month, and that is our very own Jeremy Merman. Unfortunately, Jeremy couldn't be here with us tonight because he is on a fishing trip, and I'm nobody's surprised by that. And I actually spent the morning with Mr. Merman because he and our television crew and students were there recording the student recognition breakfast that I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to read a little bit about Mr. Merman. He was nominated by Mrs. Delvento Evans, and she writes, "There is not one staff member in the Lacey Township School District who would disagree that Jeremy Merman is an asset to the district," and I think we're all in agreement on that. "He is the ultimate definition of a team player, and the hours that he contributes are immeasurable. Throughout the pandemic, he was the reason that the community could connect to athletics, our board meetings, and so many other events. And he is known to be one of the most dependable and kind-hearted people." I concur. I can't think of somebody who is more deserving than this recognition. So round of applause to Mr. Merman. Okay, and then our second staff member of the month is Patty Morley, who is a 7th grade science teacher at Lacey Township Middle School. She was nominated by Cheryl Schlagenhaft. And Cheryl writes, "Patty has been teaching for over 25 years and has spent most of her career in the Lacey Township School District. She teaches life science to all learning levels and develops fun, hands-on labs to enhance learning. She demonstrates strong leadership and is involved in many various clubs and sports. She's coached for over 20 years, was in charge of the yearbook club. Her door is always open to students and staff, and she's very, very dedicated." So also very deserving. Congratulations, Patty. Round of applause to her.
All right, here we are at Lacey Township Middle School. We've been lucky enough to have another staff member nominated as Staff Member of the Month. Let's go surprise Patty Moore. Hello, Ms. Morley. I have a special announcement, class. Every month, the district nominates a Staff Member of the Month. And this month's staff member is Mrs. Morley.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. This is wonderful.
Yes, congratulations.
Thanks, Mr. Kim. Do you want a hug?
Sure.
Thanks.
Good morning. We nominated Patty Morley for Staff of the Month because of her genuine care for her students, her 25 years plus teaching in Lacey. She has accomplished so many things, being the cross-country coach, the track coach. She volunteers at all activities during school, the pep rally. However, this year,
Yep, just last month she housed chickens. We raised them and then just brought like life science to life. She invited classrooms in just to visit the chickens. For track, she did an Easter egg hunt. So it is just, she goes above and beyond for these students. And that's why we nominated her. And we're so proud, and just we congratulate you, Patty.
So Jeremy Merman is the next staff member of the month, and normally we surprise them in their classrooms. But today we're going to surprise him while he does one of the things he does best, which is surprising other teachers.
How old are you? Congratulations.
Yes, well deserved.
Can you turn the camera just one more second? Just want to do one thing first. Guess what? You are also the month's staff member.
Oh, so we're being
I
very
fumbled that
Congratulations. Yes, you are the staff member of the month as well. So we have both staff members of the month here. So congratulations. Thank you so much. You deserve it.
Hi, we're here today to honor Jeremy Merman for Staff Member of the Month. Personally, I feel that Jeremy Merman should be Staff Member of the Decade. There's not many things that he does not touch upon within the school districts, grades pre-K through 12. We are so thankful for him. He has gotten athletics through our hardest times during COVID. He is also our announcer for softball. He has helped out with the pre-K, setting up for pre-K prom. And anything that he helps out with is always done diligently, and you know you could count on him. Jeremy, we are thankful for you, and there's nobody else that could ever replace you. Thank you so much, and congratulations. Well deserved.
Congratulations, Jeremy Merman, on being selected the Staff Member of the Month. Mr. Merman is by far one of the hardest working educators that we have in Lacey Township. He goes above and beyond the call of duty each and every day. Between helping his students, his colleagues, the community as a whole, he's always there for them, and there's not much more you can say but wow. He stands out more than anybody else that I can think of, and it's without a doubt that I am the most proud to say congratulations, Mr. Merman, on being selected as Staff Member of the Month.
How can I add to all the stuff everybody said? The number of clubs and activities and sports and classes and students that have been bettered by his contribution. This district is so much better for having Jeremy Merman in it.
All right, so neither Jeremy or Patty could be here with us tonight, but we'll make sure that they get their plaques. Well done, Mr. Lytle, well done. Okay, all right, so we now turn our attention to our next presentation, which provides us the opportunity, and I mentioned earlier, to recognize our 2022-2023 Teachers of the Year. I say every month that behind every successful student is a teacher who has not only taught, has inspired, motivated, coached, championed his or her students, and we can't thank our Teachers of the Year enough. I've said also many times, outstanding teaching is an art. And in the words of Albert Einstein, it is the supreme art of a teacher to awaken the joy in creative knowledge and expression. So when I think about the 6 teachers that we're about to recognize, I can't help but think how much they exemplify the art of teaching. So let's take a moment to hear a little bit about why each of them are amazing, and we're going to start with Mr. Brandis to introduce our Lacey Township High School Teacher of the Year.
Thank you, Dr. Clark. The recipient of the Teacher of the Year for 2021-22 is Ms. Gianna Garrity. Congratulations, Ms. Garrity. Ms. Garrity.
Hold on. You gotta come down here like
Come on
the students
down. Doesn't work that way.
Doesn't work that way.
So as Ms. Garrity works her way down here, Ms. Garrity has been about at Lacey Township High School for a decade, and she has impacted our most needy students as a science special education teacher. Most importantly, I could think of one specific example that amplifies what she does on a daily basis. Going into our second COVID year, our most needy students, our seniors, we needed to really get a hold of them social-emotionally, and the one way to do that is to try to get Miss Garrity, and we chose her for a specific reason, to teach those seniors in an English inclusion classroom. It was a little bit out of her content comfort zone as she's a science certified teacher. But we chose her because, again, of her social-emotional learning background and how well she helps our most needy students. And not only did she get them across the finish line for graduation in the most difficult time, she actually made a difference in their lives and all the lives that she comes across with at Lacey Township High School. She may be small in stature, but she's got a heart of a lion. So congratulations, Ms. Garrity, as being 2021-2022 senior. Congratulations to Ms. Garrity and the people who joined her today.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mr. King. I'm the principal of Lacey Township Middle School. It is my great pleasure to introduce the Lacey Township Middle School Teacher of the Year, most embarrassed as well, Mrs. Brannick. Please come on up. As she makes her way up here, a round of applause for her family, who also joined us this evening. What to say about Mrs. Brannick? The longer I say it, the redder she'll turn. It's really quite simple. Mrs. Brannick is the consummate professional. She is a teacher, yes, but more importantly, she is an educator. Her role in our building is vast and covers many things. In the classroom, she teaches algebra, one of our hardest math classes. She takes students who have found success most of their lives and challenges them. And when they find difficulty and they struggle, she picks them up and carries them through it. And that is a very, very difficult task. It's one thing to bring the challenge, it's one thing to cause them to pause, but to be with them as they push through that and find success on the other end is truly a magical gift. And that's one of the amazing things you bring to our school. Besides that, she is the lead director of our drama department. She brings life to the art. She brings students out of their comfort zone every time. The transition from day one to opening night is nothing short of a miracle. To see her stress level from day one to the final closing show, and the fact that she survives it is also a miracle. Not unlike pi, 3.14592, a math constant. Mrs. Brannick is a constant in her building. Prove us wrong. You're welcome. That's a math joke for everyone. I promise you it's actually a math joke, which is why no one laughed. So please join me one time. Congratulations, Mrs. Brannick. You deserve this one. I'd now like to introduce Mrs. Nemec, the principal of Mill Pond School.
Hello, everyone. I have the honor of introducing the 2022-2023 Mill Pond Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Shannon Fisher. If you could make your way down. I want to begin by thanking Mrs. Fisher's family for being here this evening. I feel like I know you all because she talks about you all the time. She's so proud of every success that you have. To Sandy, Mrs. Fisher's mom, to Keith, her husband, her children, Faith and Tommy, I can only imagine how proud you must be. Tommy, I heard you picked out a nice pair of Jordans to wear tonight, right? When walking by Mrs. Fisher's classroom at Mill Pond, it's hard to not stop and become entranced by the magic of learning that takes place there. Mrs. Fisher's passion for teaching is contagious. When students arrive in the morning, they practice greeting each other and the adults. They move into a morning meeting, her specialty, that allows them the opportunity to feel seen and heard. They talk about their interests, their games that they like, sports that they played, dance competitions, and any other topics that the students choose. She makes sure everybody feels welcome. She brings stories and learning to life each day. She is sunshine in everyone's day, not just the students, but the staff and families as well. Mrs. Fisher makes every student feel a part of her family. Her classroom's not just a classroom, it's a community and a family. They're so excited to share good news, and they always go to Mrs. Fisher because they know they can ask her any question, and she'll stop and take time to talk to them because they know she cares. Learning in Mrs. Fisher's classroom includes laughter, honesty, and connection. She's created a culture of respect and compassion. She welcomes new students and new staff members with open arms. Her dedication to trying new strategies and new ideas to support all learners is only one small component of what makes her an amazing teacher. We're so very proud of you, Mrs. Fisher. Congratulations on being chosen as Teacher of the Year. I'd like to invite Mrs. Reneska, the principal of Cedar Creek.
I was skipping because Mary Kate used to be a dance teacher, and I'm so out of sync with her, she'll dance circles around me. So Cedar Creek is so very honored and proud to present to you Cedar Creek Elementary School's 2022-2023 Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Mary Kate Casaletto. Mrs. Casaletto is joined tonight by her husband, Dan, her children, Maddie and Mason, and her proud parents, Mr. and Mrs. Campbell. Mary Kate began her career in Lacey Township school system about 12 years ago, student teaching in second grade at Cedar Creek. We recognized her sheer talent as a born teacher right away, scooped her up, and hired her immediately for a sixth grade position in Mill Pond. She spent 1 year in sixth grade and then in 2011 transferred to Cedar Creek and started her career in third grade. She's currently teaching first grade and doing an excellent job, of course. Mary Kate has assisted with our drama club during her student teaching, then became an advisor for a few years. She participates on many school committees, volunteers for many PTA events, co-chairs our family math nights, and on her own time attends a lot of extracurricular events of her own students. Football games, cheerleading events, basketball games, just to name a few. Mrs. Casaletto is an instructional leader. She prides herself on being a lifelong learner. She has achieved her master's degree plus 30 credits. She's become a Google certified educator and has provided professional development for our staff as well as the district, turnkeying this and other topics. Mary Kate submitted an idea to the NWEA Teacher Appreciation Week contest. Her idea for fostering growth and student excitement when using the NWEA assessment tool was one of 3 chosen nationally. Her winning ideas were featured in an online blog, Teach, Learn, Grow. You didn't think I was going to dig that out, did you? And her class was also given a $250 gift card, which she used for flexible seating in her classroom. She's a Flipgrid Level 2 expert, a Screencastify genius, and a certified EPIC educator. In the education world, all of these certifications are ones that teachers can earn, but on their own time. And it's more innovative ways for Mary Kate and other teachers to improve instruction. She has gone above and beyond to educate herself for the benefit of her students. Mary Kate loves to share her ideas and knowledge with others. She views her career as a heartwarming experience and loves her students as her own. They're her kids. She often receives many, many letters and accolades from parents and students, all of which I've come to find out she keeps in her smile file as reminders of why she became a teacher, and it's for the kids. Congratulations, Mary Kate. We are so proud of you, and it's an honor that you've earned and very well deserved. Congratulations.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Fiedler. I'm the principal of the Forked River School. And on behalf of all of us at the Forked River School, I am honored to introduce Mrs. Jenna Flynn, Forked River School's 2022-2023 Teacher of the Year, Miss Jenna Flynn. Mrs. Flynn is a graduate of Southern Regional High School and Stockton University, where she earned her undergraduate degree in elementary education. Her teaching career began in 2003 when she was hired by the Lacey Township Board of Education as an elementary school teacher at the Forked River School. During her 19-year tenure here, she has taught second grade and third grade. Mrs. Flynn's passion and creativity and dedication are boundless. She prides herself on connecting with each and every student to inspire their self-worth, confidence, and self-assurance. Mrs. Flynn is quoted as saying, "An educator is much more than just a person who delivers curriculum. I'm an advocate for my students' education, and most importantly, their overall growth and well-being." Ironically, just today, Dr. Pereira received a letter from one of Mrs. Flynn's students who she had 18 years ago. And it reads, "As a former student of Mrs. Flynn's 18 years ago, I wanted to justify why she is so deserving of Teacher of the Year, which, by the way, she should receive every year. I can honestly say she left a positive imprint in my education. It is so important for children to have positive and motivating leaders in their young lives to fully shape them into prime adults. The older you get, the harder it is to remember your elementary years, but I can clearly remember the projects created by Mrs. Flynn's class. In Mrs. Flynn's class. She was always so nice, never raised her voice, and genuinely cared for her students. She even came to my high school graduation to see me receive my diploma and move on to pursue my college career. Thank you for believing in your students. You rock." Sincerely, Cecilia Orsini, who, by the way, Mrs. Flynn, will shortly be graduating with her master's degree in marketing. Mrs. Flynn demonstrates for us all the meaning behind the ancient African proverb, "It takes a village to raise a child." Mrs. Flynn's husband, Rob, is here tonight with their children, Mattis, Hudson, and Thea, along with her students. Where are her students? Their parents, as well as staff members. We have Ms. Pavona up there. On behalf of all past and present students and staff members of the Forked River School, congratulations, Mrs. Flynn, on being named the Forked River School's Teacher of the Year. Congratulations, Mrs. Flynn. And at this time, I'm happy to introduce Mr. Brewer, Principal of Lenoka Harbor.
Hello again, everybody. I would like to introduce Lenoka Harbor's Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Leah Davies, and ask her to join me down there. As Mrs. Davies makes her way down, she's joined here tonight with her husband, Corey. She has her son, Ryan, his wife, Victoria, and her son, Connor, with her as well. Thank you. Okay, what can I say about Mrs. Davies? She's just the best. She has a long history with the Lacey Township School District, beginning as a kindergarten student at the Forked River School. Mrs. Davies was also present as a student when the Patriots of Lacey decided to throw off the shackles of Central Regional School District and first opened the doors of Lacey Township High School. Her parents were heavily involved with that process and have been supportive of the school district ever since. It's no surprise that Mrs. Davies is being honored as our Teacher of the Year. In fact, she's an East Stroudsburg graduate, an institution known to produce some of the finest educators that there are. From there, Mrs. Davies completed her master's degree at Grants College in Pennsylvania and also earned a supervisor's certificate at Keene University. During her time at Lenoka, Mrs. Davies has been involved in just about every aspect of the building at one time or another. Her most recent contribution is serving as the advisor to the Intergenerational Club, where she not only serves as an advisor to our students, but also as an ambassador to our district. There is no one that has the passion that she has for this school district, and it really is inspiring for how she brings that Lacey pride to her students every day. Having grown up in Lacey and being a product of our school system, having made the conscious choice to bring her now grown children into the school district, and also being a dedicated professional within our district since 1989, I cannot think of anyone who serves as a better representative for what Lacey is, and certainly I cannot think of anyone that is more deserving of this award. On behalf of Mrs. Kilmurray, who is too chicken to come down here with me tonight. The Lenoka Harbor staff, who's here tonight. Our students, both past and present, I'd like to congratulate Mrs. Davies as our 2022 Teacher of the Year.
Okay, one more round of applause for our Teachers of the Year. Okay, so let's keep going. Every month we've been playing our Lacey Minute, so what better time to follow up our Teacher of the Year presentation with our May Lacey Minute.
Tom's coming in.
I did? Just a small sampling of all of the amazing things going on in our classroom. So congratulations again to our students and Mr. Merman who put that video together. We continue to create Lacey Minutes, so teachers, staff members, please submit everything great that's going on in the classrooms, the hallways, the recess fields, cafeterias to Mr. Merman so that he can continue to create the Lacey Minute, which is turning into the Lacey 3-minute, but that's okay. Okay, speaking of what's going on in our classrooms, I am going to turn it over to Mr. Zielinski to...
Do you want to give people a chance to escape first? I'm serious.
If they'd like,
They may wanna
yes.
go.
I know our students probably have to get
Homework.
to homework and, yes.
Teachers have to do
Okay.
lesson plans.
Yes.
Principals have to prep their building. So I don't know if this is partly my fault. I mentioned to Dr. Pereira, we should do some more presentations that are curricular related. We've had some really awesome academic discussions over the last couple of months. So one of the ones that's been on a lot of people's minds is the 2020 Comprehensive Health and Physical Education Standards that were released by the state of New Jersey. By way of just information, the state of New Jersey updates their standards approximately every 5 years. It took them 6 years this time, and then they delayed the implementation of new standards by 2 years because of COVID-related issues. So technically speaking, these standards should have been implemented 2 years ago into our curriculum. And then maybe by some who haven't heard me rant before, the state, oh, am I messing up your video? I'm sorry, Tom.
It's all right.
I could have stood there. Wow, that works good. I'm just so loud, I'm like, I just like to face them. I can't do it up there properly. So by way of something that we've talked about a lot lately, because people don't always understand how hard it is to reach the point where a teacher is delivering a lesson to students. And I'm not going to get it right, but I think it was Miss Flynn's write-up, all about like how that she goes that extra mile to help the students really grow and become something in her class. And I'm totally not getting it right. It really strikes with me when you think about the teacher and the load that they have to bear all year long when it comes to delivering curricula that is based on standards. My point is that the state will deliver standards, the expectation of standards. Then we in New Jersey have an incredible amount of local control over the curriculum that we write. Okay, I don't know if we're one of the few states, but I do know, by way of example, in workshops that I've been to, states like Texas and Florida, they mandate textbooks. They do not do that in New Jersey. We pick all of our own stuff. We pick our own stuff. We pick things that we want to use in the classrooms. Most of the time, when it's standard materials, we also get board approval for those things as well. Most of the time. So you have standards, then you have curriculum, and then you have lesson plans. Okay, we are constructing, based on the 2020 standards, curriculum for all curricular areas. Now, okay, we're paying our teachers to do it. It's important that we pay them to do it, that they really work hard on it from now through August, and then either at the August Board of Education meeting or the September Board of Education meeting, the Board of Ed will hopefully adopt all those curricula, and then they will be in effect. I'm not sure how long now, because these are the 2020 standards. I'm assuming it'll be at least 5 years. And then the state will go back to the drawing board again. And it takes them typically about 2 years to update curriculum. In this case, it took them about 5 months of intensive meetings. And we'll talk, and this is just a discussion about what we have. Now, reason why we're here. There are comprehensive health and phys ed standards that have come to people's attention. Let's call it like that. I'll use all nice language today. They've come to people's attention. So the state sent out a clarifying memo. I do work for the state, but I don't work for the state directly. So a lot of their memos aren't great. This is actually a pretty good one that really clarified a lot of the things that are in the 2020 health and phys ed standards. So I started meeting with our health teachers. We have a standing meeting, actually below you guys down here in the district supervisor's office. Because by trade, I'm a social studies teacher. All right, so I qualify all statements I may make here that I'm a social studies teacher. I'll say, I did it for a decade. It is my area of expertise. This is not my area of expertise, but curriculum is. And the creation of curriculum is my area of expertise. So they put this memo out. It was a 3-page memo, and it had a lot to it. I'm going to link it, so if anybody wants to read the actual memo, I'll post this probably by Monday. I'll have this posted up. I'll do it under curriculum. You'll see it there. We have a section. When you go to the main website, you can click on this. I'll put it's a very brief slideshow. I'll put it up, and it links to the document for comprehensive health and phys ed. It's a memo. It's a clarifying memo. And the interesting things here, when I talked about that local control, a lot of what I read, I do a lot of reading. I'm a social studies teacher, so I love the media stuff. I love what's out there. I read an actual newspaper every day. So I really try to get a pulse for a lot of the things that are going on. It's just in my blood, in my training. So New Jersey, the state of New Jersey does not, as much as people would like it, because they can search the New Jersey State website, they can look at things, they can see all sorts of stuff. They don't tell districts what to do. They don't tell us what books to use. They don't tell us what online resources, especially that's important today. They don't tell us, you saw MobyMax mentioned. We use things like Work Gillingham. We use things like SIPS. We use all these different devices and curriculum materials to help educate our students. The state does not mandate any of it in New Jersey, none. All right, so that's really what they talk about here. So generally speaking, the state does not mandate curriculum. Material adoption is a LEA, is local education agency decision, and all locally adopted instructional materials are aligned to district curriculum and standards, but they don't tell us what to do. Okay, we are free to deliver those standards as we see fit, and we've done that for a long time. I've been working for the state of New Jersey now for a long time, and I've never had a state person come in and tell me what to do, ever. All right, so now what I've done, I picked the three that are in, the state picked these, I didn't pick them. So this was in their memo. They picked out three, let's call them interesting standards when it comes to the new 2020 comprehensive health. I'll let everybody read this. Can everybody read this? Okay. If you're under grade 2, actually anybody can read it because this is for up to grade 2. All right. When you look at the standards, when you see the 2 in there, that means by end of grade 2, all of our standards are really labeled that way for all curricular areas. Okay. So when you see a 2 in there, this is by end of grade 2. Now, remember what I said. I don't really like the state memos, but in this case, not bad. So the real bottom line of this standard, and remember, I'm kind of like the mouthpiece of our health teachers, all right, in this case, because I've met with them. I've met with all levels. I have a K-4 teacher in there, I have a 5-6 teacher, I have 7-8, and I have a high school. We have a high school health specialist, by the way, if you guys didn't know that. Okay, so she is strictly health specialist here at the high school. So she has a lot of influence here when we're delivering materials to our students via lesson plans and curriculum. So the real message there is that it's not boy subjects. Math and science can be for girls. Art can be for boys. People like to blow this up in different ways, but this is really what it means. Not bad. Children understand their ability to live their life in the way that suits them. So I found that pretty interesting. And remember, I'm going to post all these things so you guys can review them without me. Healthy relationships and self-worth. Develop empathy for diverse people. And learn how to show respect for people. Pretty good. That's what the standard means. State says it. Our health teachers say it. That's what the standard means. And that's how it gets delivered when we start writing the curriculum. Remember, we haven't written our curriculum yet. So I can't point to anything. It's not out there yet. I'll talk about what we're doing when we're going to publish that stuff and look for feedback from our public, which is important. Next one. Good one. Remember, the state picked these. I didn't pick them. The document for comprehensive health phys ed is 75 pages long. Actually, I think it's a little bit longer. The most important thing, you probably have trouble reading, but I have it on the next slide, and I'm going to read it to you. The examples in parentheses of the performance expectations are not required concepts that must be taught in classes. They are merely examples of the school district curriculum does not need to include these specific words in order to meet the core ideas. Not required. Okay, when you meet, and I'll probably do it around, probably in August, what we'll do, we'll have forums of our health teachers. We'll do it probably here in the High School Media Center. Once we publish curriculum and you continue to have questions, they are awesome. When you talk to them about how to deliver material like this, and this is end of grade 5, for the most part, and remember, don't hold me to things, sex ed and things like hormonal changes like that, this is not K-4. This starts grades 5 and 6. Our health teachers all agree on that. Universally, all of our health teachers agree on that. So it's very important you get the timing of things, the age appropriateness of things, and how people can receive these materials at the right level and at the right time. Very important. I move on a little bit. So Best practice, introduce students to information about puberty prior to their onset so they know what to expect. Pretty good. I'd like to know what to expect. The instruction in upper elementary school focuses on physical, emotional, and social changes they experience. That's what it focuses on. Not what other people want it to believe. Again, those parentheses, I don't know, maybe the state's saying that they don't have to teach it, maybe they shouldn't be there. I don't know. I'm not the state. I didn't write it. And I kind of emphasize what I said where the state had said there. Important to note the examples in parentheses are not required concepts, merely examples. Okay? All right, if anybody in the room is not grade 8 or above, you must close your eyes. I think everybody here is under grade 8. Good?
Why do they have to teach anal sex to my child? Is the freshman?
So what we're going to do when we get to the writing of our own curriculum, when what's important here is when the state, when I bolded those. So it's the state memo, and I bolded them. All right, to ensure that the students have agency over their own body. I'll read the whole thing. The intent of the standard is to ensure students understand that they have agency over their own bodies. Keep them safe, protecting themselves from pressure, dating violence, and assault. It's important to provide students language for and understanding of specific acts, empowering them to stay safe, evaluate risks, make informed decisions, and communicate health issues or injuries if necessary. Further, youth who are unable to appropriately name sexual acts may not be able to accurately report instances of sexual harm or abuse if it occurs. I will do a disservice explaining how this is delivered in our classrooms. Right? But it is delivered. But it's delivered very appropriately as we speak. This is contained in the 2014 standards. I get maybe 10 parents who opt out of instruction a year, and I get 0 complaints on the 2014 standards. That's just by way of example. So I will not try to explain this, but by 8th and 9th grade, when you see things like dating violence, when you see things like assault, those things do occur. And it's the responsibility of our teachers, you heard it from even the younger grades, that we really develop our students and develop them appropriately, age appropriately as well. It doesn't mean we're teaching them about something, but we're giving them terms so they understand about something. Right? That's important here. My health teacher can do it better than I am. I know I'm doing it a disservice right now. I admit that. Right? I fully admit that. It's a big deal. It's the only place in the New Jersey Code where this exists. You can't opt out of social studies. You can't opt out of English. You can't opt out of science. Okay, but there is an opt-out, okay, and it's in code. This exists now. This is not new. All right, so what we'll do, I'll kind of preview a little bit. So because it's new to some, what we'll attempt to do, and we'll probably do a good job of it, when we start laying out our curriculum, and we start laying out our timelines of our curriculum, which we will have mostly published, we'll give parents the opportunity to have that timeline to know when there's these topics coming up and they'll be able to opt out their students by way of calling their principal and saying, hey, when you do it, make sure my student has something else to do, something appropriate to do. All right, so this is the opt-out statement. I'll publish it so you can read it. You can look it up in code in 18A. There's a whole book. It's on a book now. You can look them up online. Okay, and you can exercise this option. You can exercise it right now when it comes to sexual education or healthy lifestyles or the labels that the state puts on it now. Next steps. Okay, we're pretty good here. We have an Ocean County Curriculum Consortium. All school districts participate. Okay, we've incorporated ourselves actually. It's kind of cool. All right, so we're an incorporated curriculum group. We all work for all districts of Ocean County. We're very active. So we've had at least 4 meetings at each grade, 3 or 4 meetings at each grade level. We're doing it over at Central. We send representatives from all grade levels. They've really been unpacking the standards and looking at a model curriculum that all the districts in Ocean County will get, and then we'll write our own curriculums. Some districts may adopt it verbatim. We never do that here. We never adopt a verbatim curriculum here. We always evaluate ourselves, put our own spin on it, if you will, and we work hard because we know we understand that local control. We understand our own communities. So many of our teachers live in this community, at least half, right? So there's a complete understanding of how this should go. Once complete, we review the document, we'll use it as a source of information, and then this spring, as we speak now in the summer, we are crafting our local curriculum. And then we of course, and we do this every year in August and September, our Board of Education approves all of our curriculums. We do it every year because our curriculums are a dynamic document, right? We house them online now. A place called Rubicon Atlas. You can actually go to the curriculum site and see every curriculum that we have. There might have been a glitch a little while ago. I had a few phone calls, but all of them are up there now. Not some of our electives. They will be up in this next round, but really all the core stuff is up there now, and you can see even the current health and phys ed curriculums if you go to our website. You can read it. And what I do encourage everybody to do is you can always go on the state DOE site and you see the full curriculums. Okay, it's actually laid out pretty good. A lot of the site stinks, but that's not bad there. Okay, so did I do all our next steps? And then new curriculum, we have to implement all subject areas by September. If we're delayed by the September board meeting, that doesn't really affect us. We won't implement anything controversial until then. And we're going to look in August, will be our time frame, maybe into September, because everybody kind of comes back. I don't want to miss anybody. We'll hold some forums. We're going to do some stuff, maybe back to school night, to really orient our parents with new curricula, especially inviting in, because I've learned so much in the last 3 or 4 meetings that we've had with our health teachers. I'm fascinated by it a little bit now, being a social studies teacher. Okay, so that's my presentation. It's not really Q&A today. That's going to happen more after we write our curriculums. All right, but like I said, I think I threw myself under the bus. Let's do some presentations, and I think I have one next month too. So actually, Ms. Kilmurray and I have it next month. That's right. We're doing standards-based report cards next month, which we are transitioning to K-4. So we're going to, I'll give you a preview, we're going to a trimester system next year, and we're doing standards-based report cards K-4. So we got fun stuff going on there too. So some changes for our parents as we move along. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time. Sorry for it. And we're all tired, I know. And you can always email me. I'll put this up there. All right. When you email me, the disclaimer is I call you back. Okay? It just doesn't work for me to go through emails a lot of times, especially when I'm talking curriculum and we're talking specifics. So you got to give me a phone number and a time that I can reach you, hopefully during the workday. So please, you know, that's how it works. So email me, I'll call you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Zielinski. I'm going to conclude my comments by once again just thanking Mr. Zielinski for doing that. There's going to be a lot more conversation about these standards. Congratulations once again to all of our seniors of the month, our teachers of the year, our staff members of the month, and I just want to wish our families and our students and our teachers a successful ending to the school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pereira. Okay, we're going to open the floor for public comment now. An audience member wishing to make a comment will raise his or her hand. When called upon, state the name, address, affiliation, intention to make a statement. Comments will be addressed to the board president. Comments will be made on one issue at a time. Comments will be limited to 5 minutes. The audience member shall be recognized twice till all members who wish to comment have been recognized. This portion of the meeting is for public comments only. There will be no questions answered. The purpose of this board meeting is to perform our business in public. Everyone is entitled to a public comment. If there is a question for the board, there's an established chain of command to follow. So at this time, we'll take public comments. Ma'am, come on down.
Cannot touch it. Okay. Just want to read the note. All right, so good evening. My name is Jen Bentley. I live in Forked River, and I'm a teacher at Lenoka Harbor School. I'm here tonight to ask the Board of Ed for some help with an ongoing concern at our elementary school level. This is an ongoing concern that many of you, the Board of Ed members, are aware of because it was been shared with you during our LTA Meet the Candidates Night. This is an ongoing concern that has been discussed at each elementary building level, shared with our supervisors and principals, and was most recently shared at a PRC meeting. The concern is the elimination of kindergarten screening, as well as developmental kindergarten and T1. In addition, we have just learned that our kindergarten classrooms will be losing their paraprofessionals for the upcoming school year. The paraprofessionals have a vital role in our kindergarten classrooms. The number of students that are not prepared for kindergarten are at an all-time high due to many factors. Incoming kindergartners are not going to traditional preschools. They are attending daycare facilities that are not centered on academics. Kindergartners do not go to the library. They don't go to story time, craft time, or music lessons as much as they had in the past. COVID is greatly impacting involvement in activities outside of the school as well. We now have kindergartners that come to school still in pull-ups, have acted out physically against other students, and have very limited verbal skills. Not to mention the number of children that age out of our preschool program and are no longer classified due to their age. These children are frustrated and not ready for the demands of our kindergarten classrooms. As a result of the elimination of kindergarten and developmental screenings, we are finding lots of academic, social, emotional, and behavioral issues with many of our little ones. Just yesterday, a kindergartner spent most of the day crying at Lenoka. He was tired, annoyed, and honestly, this is how most of his days have been this school year. He is chronologically young and has struggled all year, and he is not alone. This year alone at Lenoka Harbor School, we have seen a rise in our students in IRNS, and our number of classified students has increased to 70 students. We have approximately 30 students in ICR and 40 students in LLD. That is a 14% of our population. These numbers will continue to rise as our students enter and exit kindergarten. Traditionally, Lacey Township offered several developmental options for incoming kindergartners as well as struggling kindergartners. All of these have been eliminated over the past 8 to 10 years. We no longer screen our incoming kindergartners to look for signs of readiness and early learning disabilities. This has made the job of our kindergarten teachers more stressful, overwhelming, and due to the academic, social, emotional, and behavioral needs of the students, we are challenged. We have been told that the elimination of these programs was necessary for financial reasons and because data proves that it does not support an increase in our graduation rates to have early developmental programs or to afford a student the gift of time. I am here to tell you tonight that I strongly disagree with those statements and would like to offer some data that supports the opposite. I attended a 3-day Gazelle screening training, and the information that was presented was eye-opening. School readiness, according to Dr. Francis Ilg, who is the late director of the Gazelle Institute, defined readiness as the ability to cope and learn in a school environment physically, socially, and emotionally, and intellectually without undue stress. School readiness is not turning 5 by the cutoff date, being smart or verbal, reading readiness, learning readiness, or something that can be pushed or hurried. That's right, it can't be pushed or hurried, which is what we are now doing in Lacey Township. Without kindergarten screening, we are unable to assess a child's readiness for all our kindergartens. My own son greatly benefited from the T1 program and his wonderful teacher, Mrs. Ellen Booten. It was a gift of time that we chose to give our son so he would feel more comfortable and confident moving forward as a student. He still thanks us today for making that choice. Some other feedback from parents, students, and even staff from our district include, my son and daughter both did DK. It was the best decision for both of them, and both are September babies. I can't imagine sending my kids to kindergarten for a full day when they're not ready. I was disappointed when Lacey chose to stop DK. Kindergarten screening was and still is used in the district I taught in. It helped us to learn where the children were academically, socially, and if they were developmentally ready for kindergarten. I am a big advocate for developmental kindergarten. I taught developmental kindergarten for several years. What a joy it was to watch my children grow and develop. It's truly a gift of time for young 5s. Both of my children attend school in Stafford, and they participate in the developmental kindergarten program, and I couldn't be happier. The class is capped at 12, and it's truly an amazing program. T1 is the best thing we ever did for our daughter. Socially, she just needed some more time. Sadly, these programs are not available anymore, but we are advocates of them. As an educator of DK and T1, it's invaluable. It was a fantastic, necessary, and successful program. It was a huge mistake to dissolve it. As a T1 teacher for 19 years, I am definite advocate for the program. I was sorry to see them get rid of it in Lacey. Give those young ones a chance in kindergarten to succeed, and then, if they are not ready, give them the gift of time. Childhood should be a journey, not a race. So tonight, I am asking you to please help our teachers and help our little ones in their journey. I am asking the Board of Ed and the district administration to please listen to what your teachers are saying. Please bring back options, kindergarten screening, developmental kindergarten, T1, and also our invaluable kindergarten paraprofessionals to help assist our teachers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Okay, anyone else?
Rhiannon Mendis, Woodside Road. Kind of going off of what Ms. Bentley said, I have a different concern for my daughter who did start school through the pandemic, but I'm here tonight to share the struggles of her. She's currently in second grade at Forked River School. She has an amazing team of teachers, as do her 28 classmates, and coming out of virtual learning, she was behind. We put interventions in place at home and at school. She was enrolled in Fast Forward and Friday tutoring, and my concern lies with the ICR program that we currently have here at Lacey. Typically, the program would consist of smaller class sizes that only consist of maybe regular ed and IEP students, not including BSI and behavioral students. And in a class that size, my daughter often needs prompting to stay focused. She has trouble attending to her teacher during instruction. And when one of her teachers is out, there's usually no substitute, leaving one teacher to handle the entire room. Previously, Lacey had the pull-out small group resource settings that allowed students to ask questions, stay focused, and have the attention of their special ed teacher when needed. And with the gaps already widening from COVID, removing this option has been detrimental to the learning of students like my daughter. Even when her teacher makes small groups, they're limited to a table or a hallway rather than the quiet classroom setting of a pull-out setting. I urge you to look into the possibility of bringing back that pull-out placement for the benefit of our students that are struggling most. The surrounding districts still offer these programs, and I'm saddened that Lacey does not. It has forced me to place her in an LLD setting, which now has a class size of 17. It's still not a small group, but it's less than the 30 that she's with now. So utilizing our special ed teachers as ICR doesn't seem to change the need for staffing, and allowing them that pull-out setting, I think, would only boost their confidence and their ability to focus and have more one-on-one attention. The concern seems to lie more with space. Pulling a group to a hallway or a table that's crowded is not ideal even for the most attentive students, and I hope that Lacey will consider changes to include placement for next year to benefit our students like my daughter. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, Jessica DeLuca. I just have two quick comments. One about that presentation with regard to the curriculum that's coming down the pike, or the anal sex in particular makes me very uncomfortable myself as an adult. Never mind, I don't believe that an 8th grader needs to be taught that. I believe that there's some things that parents are supposed to be speaking about, and one is actually sex altogether. I understand puberty, everything else needs to be discussed, but those kind of things are meant for parents. I know that there's bad parents out there that don't do it, and teachers and the Board of Ed feels obligated to put forth such demands to teach these kids, but the younger you're teaching them, the younger they're going to be thinking about it, exploring, and everything else. It's just common sense. So I will please respectfully ask that anal sex please be taken off the table completely. Children do not need to learn about that. The next thing, I know you guys were very disappointed at the outcome of the listening learning, but I'm even more disappointed that there hasn't been another one. We've sat here many times saying that we're not getting answers, and I truly, truly believe that, yes, only 6 people or 7 people showed up, and I was late, but I do feel like it will generate some momentum. You know, nothing happens overnight, so you need to get moving on that again. And I think that all of us parents need answers, and especially with the curriculums that's going to be set forth. Thank you.
So let me just comment on that. We do have 2 more dates coming up. Oh, good. In fact, the message is going out tomorrow. Beautiful. But that's in addition to the forums that Mr. Zielinski was talking about. So we're going to have 2 more listen and learning forums, one at the end of May, one at the beginning of June. And then in the summer, we'll be having forums to discuss this topic specifically.
Will parents be involved in that?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard A. Bidnick. Good evening, Lacey citizens and those watchers out in TV land. First of all, I just want to make a comment. I'm a single gay man, and I'm totally against the anal sex being taught in school. I think it's inappropriate. I think that, we do not need to be pushing these type of things on young people. And I'm not saying that there's something wrong with that, being a homosexual, but the lifestyle, the gay culture has a lot of issues and a lot of problems. It deals with drugs. It deals with instability, irresponsibility, promiscuity. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So I'm asking, as someone who is part of that culture, that this school district do not enforce that, what the state is trying to push forward. There's a lot of issues with it, and I just think it's inappropriate, and I don't want my tax dollars supporting that, okay? Now I'll go on with my comments. At the budget resolution meeting, which took place earlier in the month, Mr. Rizzoli had made a recommendation which is very solid and needs to be addressed. I've mentioned this on a number of occasions. The student population of the Lacey Township schools has been in decline for the last several years. So much so that it was once at a high of 5,100, it's now down to approximately 3,750. This is more than a 25% decrease, yet the school's annual budget has not declined by 25%, and I've not seen one property tax deduction during this period from the school district. Mr. Rizzoli mentioned, and I totally concur, that it is time to close the Forked River School, sell the property, put those funds into a trust to be used to offset future property tax increases. Now, this makes total business and financial sense. Dr. Clark got very defensive when Mr. Rizzoli brought this up. It is a fact that smaller class numbers have had little impact in this school district's educational levels. The idea that this board wants to increase taxes on the stakeholders is rather ludicrous and fiscally irresponsible. There has not been any evaluations attached to student achievement, yet you want the taxpayers to continue to have to bear this tax burden with no positive results and absolutely no accountability. It's time for all the crying to stop, and it's time for this board to get to work. I suggest hiring a consultant from the outside who can come into the school district, make sweeping recommendations on cost-cutting measures and educational improvements with the idea that we need to consolidate and close a school. It really is time to start making the tough and very serious decisions that need to be made. If you started looking at this school district as more on a business model with a bottom line and with the product being the student that we're putting out, maybe then things can actually improve. We are spending way too much on extracurriculars instead of education. On another note, I feel, and I'm going to say this, it's not very appropriate to have these Student of the Month events during the school board business meetings. It would be much better served to have these events during school time, where all of the peers of the students can be there to participate and applaud their fellow participating students. The school board should be spending its meeting time more on the business at hand. It would be totally appropriate, either in May or the June board meeting, to honor the truly highest level students with the appropriate honors at the final school year board meeting. I think that would be totally appropriate. I happened to listen in on the Zoom hearing of the Supsi Descenza case that is working its way through the Supreme Court of New Jersey's District Ethics Committee. Not sure what the public knows, but certain members of this board authorized then President Giordano to hire attorney Supsi to investigate a sitting board member, which in the end cost the taxpayers over $5,000. But the one caveat to this is that it was not a legal authorization. The then majority of the board did not follow the sunshine laws, and this was admitted under oath, sworn testimony by Mr. Giordano himself. This is a violation of the Open Public Meetings Law, Sunshine Law, which requires all action of a quorum majority of the board to be done at a meeting of the board properly noticed to the public. You can see Schultz versus Teaneck, Board of Ed, 86 New Jersey Super 2947, which states, "What is prohibited by our laws is the taking of official action at other than a public meeting." So it just so happens that we have several of these board members still sitting on the board today who concurred with Mr. Giordano. They are Mr. Polino, our current sitting board president, Mr. Peters, and Mrs. Downing. They even chose to leave out one board member entirely in their decision-making, and that was Mr. Riggs. Mrs. Downing, you've been sitting on this board for over 30-plus years, and you are an educator, am I correct?
I was an educator, yes.
I would think after all this time, you would know what the sunshine laws are. I believe this was a corrupt action. Not only was Subsea hired to investigate Ms. DeSenza, he was also hired to dig up dirt on Gavin Rossi and Sonia Marchitello, both who were running for office in 2019 against Mr. Giordano. These legal cases have now cost the school district almost $100,000. Is this really what we want representing us on our school board? I have to ask everyone. Please remember this same board would not sign on to the legal case, which was working its way through the federal courts about the masking of our own school children, which would not have cost us a dime. But they have no problem going and signing on to a case to investigate a sitting board member and 2 private citizens. So whose interest are they really representing? It's all food for thought. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your food of thought.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, at this time, we're going to close public comment. We're going to go to board committee reports. We'll start with Mrs. Claus.
Okay.
Policy.
Okay. It was myself, Mr. Peters, Linda Downing, and Dr. Pereira. We started at 4:30. The meeting was short, lasted about an hour. We discussed some policies and regulations. The committee reviewed the following policies and regulations that have been recommended for review and/or added as new. They'll be placed on tonight's agenda for first read. The first policy was Policy 5111, eligibility of residents for non-resident students. This policy was revised specifically so we can discuss non-resident private tuition for students. Language was revised to clarify tuition rates, criteria, and procedures. The goal of this change was to help improve the initiative of bringing in tuition-based students to our district. The changes will start in grades 3 and up. Dr. Pereira also touched on new ways of advertising for out-of-district families, such as possible shadow day, signs, and commercials. Some of the changes that we added specifically were children to all non-resident employees may attend the Lacey School District's schools if accepted under the provisions of this policy at half tuition. The other thing to be noted is that the rates for non-resident private tuition students who enroll in full-time LTHS OCC College Academy in their junior and senior year of our high school may attend also at half tuition. The students and their parents shall be responsible for the cost of the Ocean County College tuition. We feel with these changes, we can entice more tuition-based students to produce reoccurring revenue. The next policy we talked about was joint use of facilities. This was just to clean up some language. We're changing Board of Chosen Freeholders to Board of County Commissioners, and freeholders and chosen freeholders shall be named chosen freeholders to county commissioners. The next policy we discussed was policy 9560. This is a mandated policy. Administration of school surveys, it was revised. The policy has been rewritten to represent the new statute that allows school districts to administer an anonymous voluntary survey, assessment, analysis, or evaluation concerning the student health only if prior written notification is provided to the parents. We discussed again policy 0169, board members' use of social media networks. Dr. Pereira shared the information provided by Phil Nicastro of Strauss Esme and our board attorney, Bruce Padula, in relation to the policy. The committee is going to review the case laws outline and decide if the policy needs revision. I also reached out to New Jersey school boards for their opinion and recommendations, and they sent me their policy to compare. So there's more to come on that. We had no co-curricular agendas, and our safety and security, we had nothing to discuss there. Under other, Dr. Pereira reviewed non-renewal list of the policy committee. She provided names of individuals along with the reason for non-renewal. Next month, we'll be adding 0167. We're just going to revisit that again, and that was the public participation in board meetings. And that's all I have. Any questions?
Questions, discussion?
No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to curriculum. Mrs. Downing?
Hi, everyone. The Curriculum Committee met on Monday, May 9th. In attendance was Donna McAvoy, Frank Polino, Dr. Pereira, Mr. Zielinski, and myself. We talked a lot. We had a lot of discussion that night. One of them is the comprehensive health and physical safety, physical education standards, and Mr. Zielinski did a presentation tonight about that, and you'll be hearing more about that. Remember, keeping in mind that the state provides the standards to us, but the local decision with curriculum and what is in the curriculum is a local issue. So more to come on that, and parents will be invited to forums as we go along. There's going to be a traveling exhibit to combat anti-Semitism and foster respect for diversity at Lacey Township High School on May 23rd and 24th. It's called Courage to Remember. It is coming, it's sponsored by Ocean County College, and the exhibit will have a guest speaker coupled with a walking exhibit that will be set up in the entrance hallway or the media center. Mr. Zielinski reviewed the NWEA results for fall and winter, and there'll be a presentation, I believe, right, Mr. Zielinski, after the spring administration of NWEA?
Yeah, we always do our formal presentation in October. We'll be doing a presentation for the curriculum committee probably in the summer.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Zielinski also mentioned before about the standards-based report cards. This committee is being led by Supervisor Mrs. Kilmary. They finished constructing the spreadsheet that will be used to build the report card, and there'll be a brief presentation on the development of these standards-based report cards coming up. This is for grades K through 4, and the presentation will be at the June meeting. Summer enrichment, credit recovery. Mr. Zielinski provided an update of the Summer Enrichment Academy, which will be held at the Lacey Township Middle School from July 11th through August 11th. Parents should watch their email and the district website for signups in the next few weeks coming up.
It's already open.
Is it open now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. As far as special education, CPAG, Mr. Bond and Mrs. Krakowski, I can't say her last name, met with CPAC leadership on April 29th to discuss points covered in their most recent parent meeting and discuss goals for 2022-2023. The high school self-contained programs reestablished pre-COVID partnership with the Captain's Inn and will be working in the kitchen weekly as part of their community-based instruction. Mrs. Bannon and Mr. Pfister attained their work-based learning certification through Rutgers. Formerly, it was called the Structured Learning Experience. Unified club events are being held. Well, all three have been held. Today was the last one, I believe. Unified game night tonight. Did you have that tonight? Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night? Okay. It says Thursday here. Okay. Elementary was Thursday. Gotcha. Multiple teachers received their autumn Gillingham training at the elementary level. And preschool prom was held on Friday, May 13th, and you saw pictures of it tonight. Out-of-state travel, we approved the Sea Perch International in Maryland, June 3rd through 5th. They go every year. And the Culinary Arts Program is going to Reading Terminal Market in Philadelphia on May 25th. The middle school Chromebooks are going to be replaced as they have reached the end of their useful life expectancy. And Dr. Pereira led a discussion of the purchase of a communications platform, Remind 101, called Remind Hub. It's going to build the district capacity to communicate directly with students and parents. Our subcommittees, there's nothing discussed. Health and wellness, we did see a presentation tonight from Lenoka Harbor. They're purchasing a new playground, and so is Mill Pond. Is that Mill Pond School, right, Mrs. Pereira? Dr. Pereira?
I'm sorry, what was, I didn't hear the
The
beginning.
new playground, Mill Pond?
Yes,
Okay.
Mill Pond.
And that's it. We have, there was no other information on their other, so that was it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Downing. Any questions, discussion? Okay.
Thank you,
Finance?
Ms. Jaslinski, for your presentation.
Yes. Our negotiations committee has been meeting with the LTEA. We're trying to get mutually agreed upon one-year salary contracts. We have a meeting set with the union to meet May 31st to discuss the salary guides. We're hoping that we can come to a mutually agreed upon contract, and the board would be willing to have a special meeting to ratify if it's possible. So we're excited to try to get that taken care of. The Finance Committee met on May 2nd, myself, Mr. Polino, Dr. Pereira, Mr. DeGeorge, and Mrs. Sylvia. We discussed the capital project of the STEM room renovations, and that will be a resolution tonight. We're very excited about the much-needed improvement of the STEM room here at the high school. We also discussed information regarding safety grant-funded purchase of 2 network switches in the district. We are given a brief update regarding the district's ongoing quest to further strengthen the cybersecurity here. And we are given information regarding the safety grant-funded purchase of security awareness training. Tonight's meeting, some major resolutions that I already talked about was the STEM project to the NJDOE, an award of quotation for the monitoring of the district HVAC system, award of quotation monitoring of district solar system, and the sale of SREX. Mr. Armato asked for the next finance meeting if we could begin discussing putting turf on the football field. It's just the beginning stages. He's trying to come up with ways to increase revenue. So it's just something that will be discussed at the next meeting, and we will also be discussing other sports using the football field in the fall so they can have night games under the lights. And that's about it for the finance report for this month. Are there any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Just like to add something to that. Once you guys look into that in the finance committee about the turf.
Yes.
To have events under lights, can we look at possibly seeing what it will cost to put lights up on another field that doesn't have to have the whole entire field ripped apart and redone and put turf down, possibly?
Yes, we can discuss anything, yes.
You know what I'm saying? It might be cheaper just to put lights up on another field rather than.
We would need Mrs. Claus to fundraise.
She does that well, too, so get on that.
Yeah. So, yes, Mr. Peters, and anything the Finance Committee discusses, we'll bring back to the board. Okay, that's my report. Thank you.
Just a reminder to the board members, if you have anything for the specific committees, make sure you get it to the chair people with your questions or ideas so it could be discussed in committee and brought back out. Thank you, chairs, for your diligent work. At this time, Dr. Pereira, do you have anything you want to address? I do not. Okay. All right, we're going to start with board member comments. I'll start my left. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you want to do that in your comments?
Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
Yeah, we'll start with Ms. Claus, work our way.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to address Mrs. Bentley's comments about the pre-K and the DK and T1. My children never used those programs, but our friends did, and it was so beneficial. So I'm wondering if the curriculum committee and the finance committee could take a look and just if we can throw it back in there just for discussion, the cost.
Yeah, we've had very lengthy discussions in our committees
Okay.
with this, but we'll revisit it, but we have.
Okay, so it's more about finance?
No.
Staffing, okay. All right, so yeah, if you can
It's
just
not
share that with
everything.
us, with me, because
Yeah.
I don't really know why it was taken away, but I know it was beneficial to the students. And as for the paras, I know it's a priority for all of us to get the paras all back in the classroom, so you can rest assured, as there's moving parts, we're hoping they get in as a priority. That's what we're looking to do. I just want to congratulate all the students and the staff members of the month. And I also wanted to recognize the student athletes that are advancing to the collegiate level. I believe there's, 10 so far. There's another 4 coming. It's a huge accomplishment for those student athletes as well. As for negotiations, I know you guys are working hard, both sides. Keep compromising, keep talking, and keep communication open. Hopefully next month we can come forward with a vote. That would be great. And I just want to thank the PTO for the $15,000 donation for the playground equipment. I know they could definitely use it, and it's a lot of hard work to raise that kind of money, so thank you again. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Peters?
I'll start off with, I have Student Spotlight this month. It's 2 students, like past graduates of the school. We try and recognize them. The first student I picked was Pat Davis. He graduated in 2016 from Lacey Township High School. While in high school, I was a varsity letterman in football and lacrosse, serving as the kicker for the varsity football team for 3 years. After high school, I went on to play at Pace University, where I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship. I was the starting kicker at Pace University all 4 years, where I received a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a minor's in homeland security and political science. My football career at Pace University was a success, and in my thoughts, due to the upbringing of Lacey, taught me thanks to Coach Lou Versillo and the rest of the staff. Prior to graduating from Pace in 2020, I started working for Berkeley Township Police Department, where I worked the summer as a Special 1. After the summer, I was fortunate to be sent to the Ocean County Police Academy, where I graduated in April of 2021. Since then, I've been working at Berkeley Township Police Department as a Special 2 police officer. Mr. Polino, what's the difference between a 1 and a 2? You carry and you don't carry?
Correct.
Thank you. I like to think my work ethic was taught me from sports. This being both from football and lacrosse, Lacey Township School has definitely molded me into the person I am today. And again, from my coaches and my teachers, furthermore, I'd like to thank Mr. Peters for the opportunity to tell my story. Thank you, Pat Davis. Now, I wish there were still some students here for my second choice. It just goes to show you that college isn't for everybody, and you can make it without going to college and be extremely successful, which this man has done. Thanks for the opportunity to tell my story, and I truly hope it inspires. If it's just one student, I'm perfectly fine with them. I graduated Lacey High in 1988 and owe a bunch of my drive and success to my parents, along with my teachers, my guidance counselors of Lacey Township. I started washing campers when I was 13 on weekends, and by the time I turned 16, my boss said I talked too much, so they put me in sales. I loved selling campers and instantly knew I'd wanted to make it my career. I loved it so much, and I guess it showed to my customers because I was able and blessed to buy my first house when I was 18 years old. 25 years and 2 amazing children later, in 2010, I received a call to be a sales manager for the local Camping World, which was an opportunity I shouldn't turn down. After 5 years as a sales manager, I was offered the job as general manager, which is the highest level on a store level, with approximately 50 people working for me, and I feel it'll be the job I retire from 8 to 10 years, and it keeps me going, and my final resting place will be somewhere tropical. I hope every one of your students looks at their entry-level position and all start of great things, not from the bottom or from the org chart. I remember washing campers like it was yesterday, thinking I can't believe I have a chance to start a career. I can just give a few words of advice to live by it and make sure you choose a career you love. Own it, never be content, and your career will pay accordingly. That's from Frank Davis, which is actually Pat Davis's uncle. Board minutes, board comments. Thank you again. Like Mrs. Claus said, I want to repeat everything. Congratulations to Teachers of the Year, Students of the Month, Teachers of the Year, great job. The PTO, the 15K, awesome donation. I want to add something to you. If you guys can reflect back to the Lacey Minute, there was a board at Cedar Creek School where a student was touching. And it's a communication board. And for those who don't know what it is, it's for special needs children that can't actually speak, and they can touch the board what they're trying to say to you. That was a Boy Scout, correct? Eagle Scout project, and his name was Sean Collins. and I think we should get him here and recognize him for that next board meeting if we can get him here. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Mr. Collins for that. Also, another shout out, Lacey graduate. He's also a coach here for our wrestling. 5th UFC fight, he's undefeated, hasn't lost yet. Luke Fernandez, TKO, a minute and 14 seconds. Took his kid out and looks like he's going pro. So give a shout out to Mr. Fernandez also. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peters. And just a reminder for those, the Spotlight on Students will be up on our website that they could go back and look at. Mrs. Downing? Did I catch you off guard?
Yeah, you did. That's okay.
Do you want to wait and let Mrs.?
No, I'm good. I'm
Okay.
good. You mentioned, Mrs. Claus, you mentioned about successes in the sports arenas, right? In the sports areas. Could we, Dr. Pereira, could we have Mrs. Del Vento add a page maybe to the superintendent's report? Each school does one, but maybe she could highlight the sports activities and the athletes. So could we add that to possibly superintendent's report?
That'd be nice.
Okay, just a suggestion. I want to congratulate all the teachers of the month, or teachers of the year, I should say first. This is a really special award, and those of you who are teachers know what I'm talking about. They only select one a year, and it's usually someone, it's always someone that is usually outstanding. Keep using usually and all the time. People become teachers for several different reasons, but if you don't have the heart and the compassion, that's when you become that outstanding teacher. And I'm not saying all teachers don't have that. Some have it more than others. And I'm sitting here watching these teachers and listening to their accomplishments, and I was so proud to have been a teacher at one time to hear that. And I was even more proud, kind of felt a little old too, because Mrs. Garrity, who received that, was one of our students, one of my students in my school when I was principal. So it was fun to see her walk up and get that award. So congratulations to all of them, well deserved. And I'm sure we could pick a lot more teachers to get that award as well, but only one a year, and that's what makes it so special. I want to congratulate all the unsung heroes, the students of the month, the staff of the month. I want to congratulate Lenoka Harbor PTO, for doing such an outstanding job fundraising. My goodness, playgrounds are so expensive. You think that $15,000 is not going to go very far, but it's such a good, wonderful fundraiser that they did and raised that money, so congratulations. Takes a lot of work. Mr. Bidnick, he left, but I think he thinks the election is going on now. First of all, we don't even know if I'm running or Donna's running or who's running, Ed. But we're already starting with the dirty campaign comments. Just ignore them. He has a complete hatred of me for some reason.
All of
and
us. He hates all of us.
And I just can't deal with it. I mean, I just will ignore comments like that. So it is what it is. I want to thank Jason and Alexis. They had a tough year this year. Half of it was virtual, Zoom, and the other was in person. They did a great job, and I want to wish them lots of luck as they move on to colleges. And I want to welcome James and Hannah. Look forward to working with them. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Downing.
Mr. President, can I
Yes,
just say
sir.
one thing? Mr. Luke, I wanted to address you real quick regarding your concerns on the curriculum. Us as a board, we're monitoring this like you wouldn't believe. And some of us more than others are really on top of this and watching this, and all as a board together, we're watching this and working with Mr. Linsky to watch what's going on. But if you remember during his speech, you have an opportunity as a parent to opt out. Remember that. Hold on, let me finish, please. I gave you a chance to speak, let me finish. Thank you. You have an opportunity as a parent to opt out. Also, he told you, nothing will be relinquished to the students. He's going to have parent forums in there with the curriculum, showing what the curriculum is before it goes through the teachers and the health teachers. And the health teachers are going to come and give a presentation of what's going to happen before it happens in the classroom. It's going to happen before us, before it gets to you, and then the students. Just to, okay. He mentioned it during his presentation, and I didn't think you picked up on it. That's why I wanted to relay it to you. That's all.
Okay, right.
All right.
Okay.
All right, I don't want to, this is
Thank
not a
you.
question and answer thing now, but
Thank
thank you
you.
for the, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
My turn?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll start with Mrs. Bentley. I feel like you quoted me. My son was in DK, and it was the best thing ever. Gave him a year of time. He was a September baby, and I know Mrs. Downing and I both are all for DK. So, yeah, and we're fighting for it. We think it's necessary. So we'll keep discussing it in curriculum. So you didn't ask me, but you sounded like you were quoting me. And as far as the paraprofessionals, we're fighting for that. Dr. Pereira knows it. At the budget meeting, I think all of us stated right now that's our number one priority is getting the kindergarten paraprofessionals back. So I'm hoping by next month, these two people to my left will find the money and we will be able to have the 12 paraprofessionals back in kindergarten. You're welcome. And this May meeting is my favorite meeting of the year, the Teachers of the Year. It's wonderful. Everyone was smiling. People came down and said thank you. The teachers are phenomenal. I heard things like they challenge students, they bring life to lessons, the magic of learning, lifelong learners, epic educators, and advocate for students. So we thank all of the educators out there, and we know you're making a difference in the lives of the children. I want to thank everybody, the Lanoka Harbor PTO, the Students of the Month. I wanted to say that the girls lacrosse team today, I went to the game, they won their second state game, so they're going on to the third round of lacrosse, which is pretty exciting that they've gotten that far. And I'm making my comment short, that's it, thank you.
Call 911. Mr. Ed,
She ended already?
right, you weren't ready for that, were you?
I just put a Tums in my mouth and
see?
it's still chewing.
I'll give you a chew break, go ahead.
All right, I'm swallowing as fast as I can.
Don't choke.
Being the next to last person to go, I always have to repeat everything other people said. But I think it's important to repeat some of the things. Congratulations to the Students of the Month, to the staff members of the month, especially one of my favorite people, Jeremy, and the Teachers of the Year. The ongoing concern that it was brought up about the paras and the developmental K and T1 are concerns that I've had all along too. And they are important to me. I do mention it every time that it can come up, and I'm definitely on your side for restoring all that. I know people whose children went through the DK program and the T1 program, and it did make a difference. And the children ended up being college graduates because they were given that extra opportunity to develop, to grow up that little extra bit to be ready. And I mean, I know the difference too from teaching. I used to always say that as a 7th grade teacher, I could tell who was the younger student in the class and the ones who were born in September and October, and who were the older ones in the class, because in 7th grade you could see a difference in the behavior, and so I believe that's very important. And so we are working on reinstating the kindergarten paras as soon as possible, and I think the other two, the developmental kindergarten and the T1 are very important for us to continue to look into and try and return them to the school. And then I'm going to say also what Mr. Peters was saying, is that if you listen carefully to what was being said, is that the state standards are not necessarily, they're a rough guideline for what the state wants done, but it's not a lesson plan. It's not the actual curriculum that we're going to adopt. We're going to adopt a curriculum that fits our community, that fits the community's needs. And I understand exactly what you're saying when you say that some of the things that you see on the screen aren't what is needed in those words. And we're going to put something together that is then presented to the parents and presented to the community so that the community can have input and can look at it. And as Mr. Zelinski said, it's going to be presented by the people who are actually going to teach it, by the health teachers, and they're the professionals who know how to get that point across without being abrupt, or I don't know exactly the right word, but in other words, who can do it tastefully and in a way that the parents will not object to. And of course, the bottom line is that for those who no matter what, if you need to opt out, it's always there if you can't come to an agreement with us. But that really, to me, is not the answer. The answer is to get it to the point where everybody agrees that we're saying it the right way. So, and that is going to be the long-term goal. And then on a little bit of a lighter note, when I started on the board, I brought to the attention of the board, I think I actually brought it to the attention of the board before I was on the board, that they promised that when the track was done, it was going to be something that would be able to be used by the public. Well, I'm glad to say that starting June 1st, the track will be open from dusk till dawn. No, it'll be open from dawn till dusk. That's printed backwards. I'm reading the sign, and it should be from dawn till dusk, I would hope.
Yes.
Okay?
No, we're going to use it in the
Yeah,
morning.
I'm glad I read it out loud. And it's not to be used during school hours or school events, and there'll be no bicycles, skateboards, dogs, cats, pets. It'll be for walking and running on the track the way it's meant to be used by the public. So I'm glad to say that's going to be done. Thank you.
All good?
What's that?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Okay, so just to reiterate, congratulations to all our award recipients. I want to thank Alexis and Mason for a job well done this year, and welcoming Hannah and James to the dais next month. You know, and to touch on the DK and stuff like that, you know, back in the day when I was on the board years ago, you know, it was removed because we went to a full-time kindergarten. I wasn't happy about that. It really is a great thing, and something I wish we could always bring back. I hope we could bring back. You know, I think one of my kids probably could have benefited from DK or T1, and my wife and I, you know, we went back and forth at it, and I put my foot down, and my kid did not go to DK or T1. So it is a benefit. There's no two ways about it. And you can see it in the children that utilize that program. But it's something we're going to discuss and see what we can do to bring it back. As far as the paras, you know, I know all of us are on board with that. I just want to make a quick comment that we can't promise at this point that all 12 are going to come back. We have to wait for our registration numbers for kindergarten to come in to see what our classrooms are going to look like, because we are bound by law. If we have more than 25 students in a class, we have to have a para. So we're not going to sit here and say we're guaranteeing 12 to come back. We're going to see where our numbers come in, and we'll see what we're going to be able to come up with financially to bring back some of our paras in kindergarten. So with that said, you know, this was a great meeting to see the faces. It was so nice to see all our administration here. I don't think I only get to see them in one place at one time, usually the May meeting, which is nice to see them all. But really, what was nice to see the one teacher here that her student wrote a letter, you know, 18 years later, 19 years later, whatever it was, and if you could see the expression on the teacher's face, you know, that's what it's all about. And I'm sure every one of us has a certain special teacher that has touched our lives, and we could look back, and I know I have one or two of them myself. But it's really a great thing, our Teachers of the Year, and what they get and what they give. I just want to clarify one thing, you know, whatever Mr. Bidnick says to me is fake news, but one thing I will address it, he's up here accusing us of breaking laws and empowering the then president to go after public citizens and stuff like that. And just let me make the record clear that the board president has the legal right and authority to speak to the board attorney at any given time. He or she does not need the permission of the board to speak to the board attorney. So whatever Mr. Bidnick's alleging to, that we gave him, the former president, the right to go after private citizens is completely incorrect. So,
Mr. Polino, $100,000 was not spent on the case either. That was fake news also.
yeah, so I don't know where he's getting his information from, but yeah, fake news. So with that, I'm going to end my comments, and we're going to go into our resolutions. Okay. New business, number 1, minutes from the last meeting. Motion.
Move.
I'll second.
Discussion. Ms. Sharon?
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Abstain.
And Mr. Polino?
Yes. 2, list of bills. Motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Sharon?
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes, but I'm going to abstain on 173251, payment to Manchester Board of Education.
Thank you. Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes, but I have to abstain on bill number 950450 due to conflict.
Thank you. Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
And Mr. Polino?
Yes. Number 3, transfers, budget transfers. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. Sharon?
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. 5 through 12, settlement agreements. I'm sorry?
4.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking right over that. I had my finger in the wrong place. I'm sorry. So number 4, special reporting, April 2022. Motion?
Move.
I'll second.
Discussion. Go ahead.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. All right, now 5 through 12, financial things, approval of settlements, Lacey Township Homeless Children and Youth Grant, Consolidated Grant, ESEA, state contract purchases, and comprehensive, cooperative purchase for supplies, and that's something we have to correct. And sale and disposal of assets. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call?
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. 13 through 17, facilities, capital project, New Jersey Department of Education, quotations award contract for monitoring, inspection, and maintenance of district HVAC system, quotations contract for monitoring, inspection for solar energy, lead testing statement, and use of facilities. Motion?
Move.
I'll second.
Discussion?
The only discussion is for use of facilities. I'd like to revisit that in finance and policy to discuss the difference between a nonprofit and a for-profit.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes, also for discussion. It seems that there's another AAU basketball team that's trying to get in there for use of facilities, and they can't find any time to get in there to practice. They're all Lacey residents. If we can try and find some time in there to get in there?
Did they submit a request?
Yes.
Okay, we can discuss that at the committee meeting?
Could you just send, Mr. Peters, could you just send Mrs. McAvoy an email explaining exactly what that you encountered or whatever it was, so.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
And I too would concur with the use of facilities, what Mrs. McAvoy was saying, we need to revisit the nonprofit and for-profit agencies that are using our buildings. Thank you.
Do you want us to revisit it again? We did last month.
Yes,
I think we're going to do it at finance also.
yes, absolutely.
Right.
Any other discussion? Sharon?
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
And Mr. Polino?
Yes. All right, 24 through 25, nope, 18 to 23. Push, I want to get out of here. I'm so, what am I going to, thank God you're here. I think Mr. DeGeorge will let me just go with it. 18 to 23, out-of-district placement, out-of-district tuition, out-of-district transportation, transportation contract, parental transportation contract, award of parental transportation contract, and that's the other one.
I'll
About the
move
same
that.
thing. Second?
A second.
Discussion? Motion, roll call?
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
That was 18 and 19 we're voting on now?
18 to 23.
Oh, I'm going to abstain on 19, please. Due to
Mrs.
conflict?
McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
And Mr. Polino?
Yes. That was 19, Mr. Peters?
Yes.
All right. 24 through 25, policy regulations, first read and second read. Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second, Peters?
Discussion? Sharon?
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. 26, 27, Hibbs, motion?
Peters? Make-
Second.
I'll
Discussion? Okay.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. Letter B, donations, motion?
Move.
Second.
Peters, second?
Discussion?
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. and
Mr.
thank you.
Peters?
Yes, and thank you.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes, and congratulations to the Lenoka Harbor PTO for their successful fundraising.
And Mr. Polino?
Yes, and I also failed to recognize those parents from the PTO who did an outstanding job, so thank you, all PTO parents, and especially Lenoka Harbor. So yes, thank you. C, programs, curriculum, out-of-state field trips, 1 and 2.
Move.
Second,
Second.
discussion?
Good luck, guys. The Sea Perch International Competition, that's where they built a submarine, and they made it to the national competition. They're going, I think they're Washington DC for that.
Maryland.
Dr. Clark?
Close.
Maryland.
Where are they going?
Just
Maryland?
close. Roll call?
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes, and we will chaperone the trip to Reading Terminal.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
No.
Mrs. Downing?
I have to abstain on number 2, please.
Got it, thank you. Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
And Mr. Polino?
Yes. D, professional days and workshops, motion? Second,
Me. McAvoy.
discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
This is just D, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. E, certificated personnel 1 through 13, motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second, Peters?
Oh, yeah, I will. I was looking for that. Under page 20, we have to make a correction, ladies and gentlemen. Under page 20, Mill Pond Elementary School, just make a note that in first column, second, under Mill Pond, Daniel Gannon was marked as not having tenure, but she does. So just so you know that.
Page 20, Mill Pond.
Mill Pond, first column, second to the end, Daniel Gannon.
Oh,
It was incorrectly put. It said that she did not have tenure, but she does. Okay. Roll call?
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes, and I have to abstain on E12,
Thank you.
item 12.
Mr. Scanlon?
yes.
And Mr. Polino?
Yes. F, non-certificated personnel 1 through 8, motion?
Move.
Second. Here we go.
I'm separating you two.
Sorry. She can move, I'll second.
Discussion. Roll call?
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes, and we have a add-on?
Yes, we have a walk-on.
Okay, please.
Replacement position, move that the board approve the following employment of replacement professional personnel. Jennifer Napatano, Assistant Business Administrator, Assistant Board Secretary, for S. Sylvia, $100,000 annually pending certification, effective date 7/1/22 to 6/30/23.
Motion?
Move.
Second? You got it? Roll, discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Claus?
I'm just not happy about the salary, but I know the position is needed, and it's the going rate, so I will vote yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. Okay, that's it. Motion to adjourn?
Motion, adjourn.
Second?
Second. All in favor?
All in
Aye.
favor? We're out.
We're out.
We're out.